Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for another Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, it's the Netflix series, or the Netflix limited series, I should say, The Witcher Blood Origins. Welcome, everybody. Um, yes, I'm still injured here. That's why I took a little bit longer than normal. Also, Twitter decided to crap out, and whatever Musk is fucking doing to that thing, yeah, he's screwing it 9 ways to Sunday, and yeah, it took me a little bit longer to get the stuff together than I thought it was going to. Anyway, spoiler-free version first, right? Well, first, let me take care of some business first, and then we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible. So one of the videos, my vast for your library, and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you're feeling lucky or feel like gambling, you can hit that bell down below, and YouTube may or may not notify you when I come on live. Best thing to do is go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. Hello, Cheryl. So spoiler-free version is what I was going to say here first. Um, so yes, this is a prequel to the Witcher series that is on Netflix currently. It's 1,000 years in the past of that series. And it's right before the convergence of spheres. There we go. Um, and that's when this takes place. There are no humans on this world, and it's just elves and dwarves. Pretty much is where we're at. Um, that's the setting for this. Also, does this tie into the Witcher series? Yes, it does, and it does in a big way. And the payoff isn't until the very end. I was actually like, "Where is this going? Why is this here?" And then it's you have to stay till the very end of the last episode. Well, not the very end of the last episode. The credits start rolling a little bit. It kind of goes to black, and then it comes back up again, and there's another scene. It honestly takes like I think maybe about 5 seconds of that before it goes to the new scene, which takes place in the Witcher series. So that's all I'm going to say. Uh, Raymond says, I'm going to get to that in the spoiler version, Raymond. So I'm doing the non spoiler version at the moment. So, this, of course, deals with elves and dwarves, like I said. And there's also magic. There's elves that do magic, dwarves that just fight for the most part. And, it's Michelle Yeoh's in it. Also, it was kind of funny. The guy who plays one of the major mages in it, who plays Balor, is Lenny Henry, who of course is in Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. He plays one of the Harfoot, the guy who leads them. So I didn't even recognize him without the Harfoot makeup on. It was kind of funny. I was like, wait a minute. So yeah, he's in a Netflix series and he's an Amazon series. So there we go. Is it worth your time? Yes and no. So Jasker is in it as well in the very beginning. So this whole thing is a story being told to Jasker. That's not a spoiler really. That is how the setup of all of this. And um I kind of liked how they did this. It's an interesting way of putting it. It's 4 episodes. They're each about 40-45 minutes, somewhere around there. And it's actually worth your time. It's not terribly well done. It's not like The Witcher, but it's also not bad. There are a lot of worse things on Netflix, quite honestly, and it does tie into what we're gonna see in season 3, I think is what we're going with this right now. 3? Yeah. 3's coming up. Um, yes, so I believe it's gonna be a tie-in to that, and it's also going to be we get a little bit more of certain characters as what certain characters' origins, shall we say. That's all I'm getting at. Um So yeah, it does explain some stuff. It does not rewrite the Witchers the way how the Witchers came about. It explains something else. That's where you're at on this. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I can say non-spoiler wise. So with that said, let me get to the spoilers now. How about that? Oh, as I start knocking stuff over with the cast and everything. Spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the series. If you have not seen the series, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. Giving you enough time to hit pause, all that kind of good stuff. There we go. All right. And by the way, those of you who are in ice storms and snowstorms and all that kind of stuff that happened this week, yeah, I feel for you. That's icy sidewalk is what that hit. You know, is it super laggy? It's probably you, Morks. I don't know. My connection should be good here at this point. Um, Raymond says, which battle was Jasker in? I don't remember. So he was actually being held by remember he got taken prisoner at one point. I believe they said in season 2 that he got arrested basically for his tales, and he was being broken out by the elves, if I remember correctly. So that the battle that he's in really wasn't that important. What is important is that he is a friend to all species, is what's going on, and that's what's going on there. Cheryl, yes, I can see how you didn't like it. I mean, it is substandard for the Witcher series. It's not as good as the Witcher series, but it's still decent. And it does actually fill um it does fill a hole in one of the characters in the Witcher series who is, and I'm blanking on the name all of a sudden now because why not? That's what ends up happening when I'm doing this, and all of a sudden I just blank on it completely. Um she was the gift Siri. There we go, Siri. So Siri is actually the descendant of Fajil, uh, Fajal. There we go. Who is an elf who gets turned into a witcher of sorts. He's essentially the first witcher, and of course, he has sex with another elf while he has already been, witcherized, and their progeny ends up going down the line 1,000 years to Siri. So Siri is the end result of all of this. Um, and we also find out what the spires are all about. The black spires that are all around. They're actually doorways to another world. That's where the magic is. Also, the spires are what are responsible for the convergence of the spheres, which when one of the spires got destroyed, that actually made the convergence happen, and that's how humans end up coming to this world, and vice versa, monsters, all this kind of stuff. So, did they say how or who created them? No, they didn't say who created the spires, just that they had been there, and the dwarves actually had buried them for fertility. Fertility of the land is what they were saying. So these are all just buried. Um, and the elves were bringing them back up, or I should say, the mage elves were bringing them back up in order to open them up into other worlds. And the reason why they're opening them up to other worlds is because they wanted them for resources. They wanted them for food, for you know, livestock, and also for slaves as well to build stuff and whatnot and conquer new worlds. So that's what that is all about. But the end result is um, that Siri is the end result of this, and she is going to be the one that brings about the end of the world and brings about the other convergence of the spheres. So at the very end, you see the mage apprentice. He actually has the book that the main mage Balor, who had been opening these other worlds, the portal to the other world. Um, he realizes that it can also be used for time travel as well. And he actually goes and sees Siri as she's a little girl playing with the bones in the street. That's what the final scene is. And we find out that she is, of course, the descendant of the elf witcher, if you will, and is the one that will bring about the end of the world. The apocalypse is what's going to happen. And so that's what we're going to be dealing with in season 3 there. Jasker gets involved because another elf, Mini Driver shows up. Sanchi ends up grabbing him and says that he needs to sing a forgotten song, the Song of the Seven. And it's basically the song of how the seven stopped this great empire, this great elven empire from coming into being, and basically destroying the world, taking over the world, that kind of stuff. And actually, if you stay through the end, also through the very end of the credits, you hear Jasker's Song of the Seven, which is really good, by the way, too. So I thought that was a lot of fun. So there are multiple things in this, but you kind of have to wait till the payoff at the end. Yes, the show isn't as good as The Witcher, the main Witcher series. The acting isn't as good either, but the payoff of it does pay off in the end, and that's kind of what makes it worth your time. And again, like I said, it's 4 episodes. They're about 40 minutes apiece, and there you have it. So you think it's better than The Witcher, Raymond? I like The Witcher better. So the first season of The Witcher, I'm going to say this much: the whole time jump, when you didn't know where you were in the time stream, and once you figure that out, then it becomes better. But yeah, that I would say first 4 or 5 episodes of The Witcher were just confusing as all fuck. But yeah. Mork says, good. I don't check the schedule, but I've been waiting for this review. I'm not convinced as to watching it yet. It's 4 episodes, Morks. You've watched worse things. I mean, for God's sake, if you've seen anything by Zack Snyder, then this is a lot better than anything that he's done. And it's definitely better than that Willow TV series. So Raymond says, I liked how the first Witcher was created and how he was uncontrollable, sort of like the new human. Well, he really wasn't. He was more of a pure form. And if you remember, the Witcher himself, or Henry Cavill, takes little vials of stuff in order to, and he's human, in order to go into Witcher mode. So otherwise, he is just uh he's walking around with the augmentation, but it's not activated until he drinks that little vial of potion. Whereas Fajal, he was basically just holding it back until he could Hulk out, if you will, and that's kind of where theirs went wrong. It was just too unpredictable. So, and I did like that how the first one is very, very unpredictable. But this still does tie in also to the animated series. The Witcher, I believe the Wolf Blood or Blood of the Wolf or something like that. And you actually kind of see the last of the Witchers being created. And of course, uh, Henry Cavill's character as well. Cavalt. There we go. Couldn't remember his name for a second. It's been a long fucking couple of weeks, man. I'm telling you, it's been crazy with stuff. So, well, so like I said, worth your time to actually just fill in some gaps and also get ready for season 3. Um, Other than that, yeah, like I said, the acting's not great. Raymond says, whose story arc and acting was your favorite? Whose was your worst? Um, in this series, or are you talking about in the series in general, in the Witcher series in general? I mean, because honestly, I kind of like the dwarf in this series, to tell you the truth. And now I'm blanking on her name, Meldoff. Meldoff and her hammer Gwen. I did like that story, even though it seemed kind of eh. Um, at first I thought it was just kind of a throwaway. I'm like, why are they bringing her into all of this? How does she tie into it? And then it was just another one of the seven in order to help basically fill in the numbers. And they're going after an empire. So I like that one the best, to tell you the truth. Yeah, that was my favorite. Even though, it was a very small part of the story, no pun intended in that. I liked her story the best. And also the actress, pulled it off fairly well. And I believe the majority of this, well, it was shot in Scotland. And yeah, I don't know if they were using Scottish actors, or I think they were for the most part. So, yeah, very interesting. Raymond said, "I did not think for one second that Michelle Yeoh would betray." Yeah, exactly. I mean, she didn't. We knew that wasn't going to happen. It was all part of the plan. So, there was a brief second there that I was like, "Did she?" And they're like, "No, she didn't." So, and that's actually kind of what you want from that. Michelle Yeoh is good in everything that she does. So, you know. Well, what else do I have going on for the rest of this week? Not a lot, because of course we have New Year's coming up on Saturday here. So, it's basically all I'm doing is tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol episode 5 is happening tomorrow, and then the rest of the week, yeah, it's going to be off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we'll see what happens Monday. Yeah, take a look at the schedule over at suspendedfanimation.com. That's where you'll see everything that's going on. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Pen. And hopefully Twitter fucking clears up their act. I swear to God, I had to put everything in manually. Normally, what I do is when I'm doing the my tweet out of what's going to happen for this broadcast, I usually have to. All I do is go to YouTube here. I click on share, and I can share to Twitter, and it automatically does the majority of the work, including the thumbnail and everything. The only thing I have to put in is I put in hashtags and whatnot, and ats and all that stuff. And this time around, it kept asking me if I wanted to log in, that I was already logged in, that I couldn't log in. And so, but I could log in on my phone, which was the stupid thing. So I had to input it all manually. It was the most pain in the ass thing I've done in a long time. Yeah. Yeah, Penn. It was kind of funny. I didn't know he was in this week's episode. And then I heard the voice. I'm like, that voice sounds familiar. And then I saw him, and I still was looking at him like, who the fuck? I'm like, oh, it's Christian Slater. Yeah. So, yeah. And also, Val Kilmer did not do the voice, of course, because his voice is shot. Um, so his son actually did the voice of Mad Mardigan in that one. I'm not giving away any spoilers on that one, but Raymond says, I'm waiting for the end of the season to binge Doom Patrol. I can't handle week to week of that show. All right, Raymond. All right. Sorry, I'm having to use two hands with this, but I'm not supposed to be lifting more than, anything more than 5 pounds with this thing. So if you're wondering what the hell happened here, I slipped on an icy sidewalk when I was in Canada, and I landed on my wrist that way, and then also on the side, and chipped a little tiny piece of bone right inside the metacarpals in there. So it's just kind of free floating around inside the ligaments, which is lots of fun. So I have to immobilize it for about 3 weeks. That's why I have this nice little plastic thing here, and then we'll see what happens from there. But yeah, no surgery, and yeah, well, at least I can take this thing off and wash my hand and stuff like that. The cast that I had on, or the splint cast that they put on the ER, stunk to high hell just after a couple of days. So, because that's just the nature of those things. Penn says, "I don't think I could, wait to binge Doom Patrol, and it'd be too much insanity." Yeah, I don't think I could binge watch Doom Patrol either. It's just it's too nutty, 1, and there are just so many. I don't know, it's emotionally draining, I think, to do that all at once. So, for me, yeah, I wouldn't be able to do it. But anyway, enough with that. Thank you to everybody who joined me tonight in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. I'm trying to point. For those of you still on the fence about subscribing, you know who you are, Marks. Morks, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms, all the stuff you've been watching, and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos. My vast video, over 1,000 videos now, library, pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. I'm usually close to the time. This time around, I was far off the mark. So sorry about that. And also, I have all the links to my social media there, all links to my pages as well. And I have all the schedule underneath there for future stuff that's coming up too. So if you want to know, I don't have everything there, but if you want to know what's coming out in the geek world, especially on TV, movies, that kind of stuff, I've got it up there, at least a good majority of it. So, with that said, uh, nutty and emotional is where I live. All right, Raymond. So, thank you, everyone. I will see you again tomorrow for Doom Patrol. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may find out that an elf has taken you out of a battle midway through to tell you a story that she wants you to sing a song that may bring about the apocalypse of the world that you're living in, but she hasn't given you much more information than that. Anyway, thanks everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, get the boosters as well. You don't worry about those boosters, and stay safe off of those icy patches of sidewalk because yeah, they'll get you. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, have a good rest of your night and take care, everyone. Thanks. Good night.